Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Daily Surveillance. Today is on a weekend, so today the markets are closed, but that doesn't mean business has stopped. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at what's happening in the world of business from the Kenyan markets all the way to the international markets. So you know me, too much sec, too much sec, too much sec, too much sec. Let's go. It's a brand new day. It's a beautiful day. So wherever you are, I hope you're well. I hope you're fine. Let's go. So today we're just gonna start on the business daily. Let's see what's taking place. Moi's ex aide Kule gets billions in state deals. It's this is the second day. This is the second day that it's the first news we get from business is about a person instead of about something innovative. So I think this is the second day. So I think we're going to track this. What's the first thing you see every time you see like business news somewhere? So what's the first thing? Ni kitu gani ya kwanza unaona? So like yesterday, if you can remember, yesterday was about the ex-cabinet secretary, an ex-cabinet secretary who's been given a position of heading the KRA commission. And then now this Moi ex-aid thing, the Kule, I don't know, Kule guy. You know what, at the end of the day he's a shrewd businessman, because at the end of the day if he's still getting business deals right now, he's a shrewd businessman. So I guess that's it is what it is. As you can see, this is the market status right now. It's closed. So we can start from here. First things first, the market status is closed. You can see majority of the businesses have gone up, even if it's by a little bit. Corp, DT, Diamond Trust Bank, NCBA posted profits. CIC, ARM, KPLC. KPLC has also gone up, because last time I saw it was 14 shillings. Yeah. Some businesses have gone down. NSC has gone down. Liberty Kenya Limited, Scan Group, Everready has gone down. TPSC. So yeah, generally that's just the market. Everything kuna kitu inaenda juu, kuna kitu inaenda chini. So you already know. So Kenya risks China's suit, fines for revealing SGR deal. They weren't supposed to reveal. Was it something that they weren't supposed to reveal, or what? What's going on here? At the end of the day, this is just me learning about. I'm not exactly telling you what to look for or what to look for. This is me just learning from one part as a beginner in the world of finance. How do we get to track information from one stage to the other? Eventually, you're going to see growth, because at the end of the day, repetition is the mother of all success. That's what Lil Wayne said. So it's okay. So majority Nairobi both listed stocks decline in shares. So the stocks have declined from banking to fashion. Why Wandia Gishuru wants Africa to wear its own brands. That's actually really nice. I like that. Wandia Gishuru is yendo mwenye vivo. See those nice like dresses, the ladies wear, she makes some really nice dresses, And what she's saying is actually something that I advocate for very, very much. We should be manufacturing our own. We should be building our own. The same way with China. That's how China has become an economic superpower. My goal personally, is to see Africa become an economic superpower within my lifetime. That's my goal. And the only way we can actually get to that is we actually produce our own things. We reduce import and import of processed and manufactured goods, and start exporting more manufactured goods. So Africa has to become a superpower. Njia moja ama ingine lazima tuko superpower. Yani hiyo si negotiable. At the end of the day, if you're not on that agenda, then you're our enemy. So, sir, what she's saying actually makes sense, from banking to fashion. So she was a banker before she went to fashion. So, I'm not really going to read much into things today, since at some point kuna venye lazima get two subscriptions, but we're just going to look at the general headlines and then just get a general overview of everything that's going on around Kenya, East Africa, North Africa, South Africa, West Africa, so KMRC CEO on the second tranche of medium term note. So every day we're going to learn something new. What does it mean when somebody says second tranche? Let's see over here. What does it mean when somebody says, mtu akisema second tranche in finance, second tranche meaning lazima tujue hizo manini. So second tranche refers to second installment or portion of a larger financial deal, loan or investment. So first tranche, where does this word come from, tranche? Is it a synonym? Is it a, these financial terms, kuna venye mazizi ma financial terms unaweza dhani mazi ni vitu zingine hapo mind blasting ama kitu kaya, but zingine wanazimaking these kwe. Pronounced tranche is a French word meaning slice or portion, so it's French. Oh my god. So installment just looks, I wonder who is the first to use it anyway. So second tranche of medium-term note and greenhouse project. Medium-term note. So medium-term note. MTN are highly flexible debt instruments that typically mature in 1 to 10 years. Highly flexible debt instruments that are continuously offered by corporations or governments to investors, offering customizable interest rates, currencies, and maturities. MTNs bridge the gap between short-term commercial paper and long-term commercial bonds. Short-term commercial paper. They bridge the gap between short-term commercial paper and long-term commercial bonds. Commercial paper is a short-term unsecured debt instrument. Unsecured debt instrument issued by a corporation typically for financing short-term liabilities. Okay, now we've learned something. We've learned what a tranche is. A tranche is just an installment, a slice or a portion that is, part of a bigger pie that's paid, in terms of a loan or an investment. And then now short-term paper, short-term commercial paper, medium-term notes, and long-term bond. So it's one short-term paper is 1 to 10 years. Maturity is ranging from short-term paper is 1 to 70 days. And then long-term bond. Long-term bond. What does long-term bond mean? Well, how long is a long-term bond? Make payments, offer you interest payments every 6 months throughout the bond's maturity. That's why people usually take bonds in the finance world. There's a lady I met, her father, there's a lady I met long time ago. Her father, she told me her father is gearing her to take bonds. So I guess at that time I should have paid attention, because at that time it was a long time ago. But at that time I should have paid attention, because typically the returns, if the returns is 6 months, 6 in installments of 6 months, I guess that's nice if you need. So let's continue. At the end of the day, this is not about me showing you things. This is also about me learning from the beginner's perspective. So let's continue. How Gakunju Kaigwa turned fallen dreams into lifelong sculpting career. That's so nice. NCBA profits up by 6 billion. So if you go back over here, we can see Uh, this is one question I always ask. Does profit mean the stock value is going up? As you can see in CBA, the stock value has gone up by 3.52%. So is that tied to the profit? What else can make a stock go up? Diversification, blah blah blah. We're just gonna find out. So, this one we covered it yesterday. This is not exactly helping this country in any way because at the end of the day, this is from US. But good for her at the end of the day. She's in the US. So if it was here in Kenya, that would have been amazing. So car in general invest in 200 battery swapping sites for EV. I wonder whether the recent increase in the price of petrol is also being geared towards people taking price in petrol and diesel is also being geared towards guys buying more EV. Maybe there's somebody who has a big stake in electric EVs, the electric vehicles. So let's see car in general, car in general, car in general, car in general. Can you see car in general here? Kakuzi. There's some news about Kakuzi. But let's continue. Basigo expands into electric vans. You see, electric vans, schools for PSV. Car in general. That doesn't necessarily mean any for the stocks, but if I can say something about the stock for car in general, it's always been going up somehow. It's always been going up. But swapping for EVs, it's always been going up for one reason or another. KRA loses bid to tax Liberty Life, 162 million on financial adjustments. Rescue investor emerges for insolvent EA Cable. Rescue inventors because EA Cable is also listed in the in the stock exchange. So I guess that's a what is going on? Okay. So it's above the Centum, Kengen. I think new figures are just coming. JFK, JKF spared from making 109 deposit in printing debt issue. Dispute deal to pay Imperial Bank depositors 1 billion stopped. Ooh, what? There's somebody who had 1 billion in Imperial Bank. Oh my god, we lost so much money. Why banks see CBK raising its key loans rate as inflation jumps? One thing, how the central bank relates to the banks in Kenya and how the banks relate to the people in Kenya has always been a mystery to me. How exactly do banks operate? Let's say like hii hapa sasa, the key loans for the rate of inflation. How exactly do the banks operate on this tariff? State order to pay Indian firm 390 in Moachi Dam dispute. Why Apex Court ruled that pensions are private trusts. Interesting. No, that is interesting. What is a private trust? No, what is a private trust? Pension funds sponsored by public entities belong to contributors and are not public funds, subject to state procurement laws. What does this statement mean? In a landmark victory for retirement benefits industries and pensioners, the Apex Court ruled that pension savings managed under public entity-sponsored schemes are private trust funds owned by employees that cannot be treated as public money. Okay, I don't know if anybody is seeing this, please explain to me. Just call me up, explain to me exactly what this means. So let's go back. LSK fuels sulfur case to test state emergency powers. Okay. Ketraco drops tax integrity clearance rule in CEO hiring. Who is the CEO being dropped for this? This is just corporate still. So, three risks forex traders must watch as the Iran crisis escalates. We're just going to get a general overview of the markets. I'm not really going to go in depth today because the markets have closed. Tether invests LenFi to promote stablecoin powered remittance charges. Mm, 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 mm. The taxman building digital bridge. At the end of the day, I'm going to find a way to use this information. This information is going to come to you in real time before 9 o'clock every day. Before 9 o'clock, because that's when the markets open. Today is just a weekend, so the markets are closed. So we're just trying to make due to learn about the businesses before now the markets open. So we're just trying to keep ourselves informed. Unite us to build 521 Runda property for head office. Damn. Gamblers to pay, yeah, this one we read yesterday. Gamblers to pay Talanta bondholders 6.5. I still don't understand this, but we're going to understand it in due time. Majority, this is just news. Taste of paradise at 146 an acre in Nyali. Oh, okay. Uh-huh. Young women's just show up. This one we didn't actually read, but I think this one is actually really nice. If you look at it, I don't know what Joshua is about, so let's find out. This is the last thing we're going to read. Kenya's economy relies on informal sectors. Mafua washing clothes and people. Somebody made something like this. I hope it actually works. Because there are so many. Like I think right now we're in a smartphone economy, and so many things need to be upgraded. So this is one of the things. I think this is really nice. Okay, so Basi, let's go. What's happening in East Africa? The citizen is in Tanzania. This is the business news in Tanzania. Benjamin Kappa Hospital 6-7 billion. So eventually now we're going to go see specifically what's happening in business in Tanzania. So, what exactly is going on in business in Tanzania? Sindio Tech Global University Court, here's testimony 195 graphite label. 195 million. Somebody's trying to dig graphite. Sindio that explores biometric ticketing system for the Sri rapid bus commuters. That's something. At the end of the day, I've always said, like, people are just looking for a way. East Africa is a big hub. Take a full insurance expands across the traffic amid awareness groups. Insurance. The YCRDB investors want CEO to remain in office even after expiry of 10-year tenure. This is what's called, like, people having faith in you. People don't want you to leave. CRDB Bank shareholders applaud after approving a record dividends of 90 shillings per share, representing a 38% increase compared to 65 per share declared in 2024. The approved dividend which result in a total payout of close to $2 billion, up from $1.5 billion distributed in the previous year. That is a lot, man. That is a lot of money. And they don't want to see your group chief executive Abdul Majid Sekela to remain in office beyond the legally permitted 10-year tenure, citing strong financial performance. This is something I remember reading the Jubilee. I don't know if it's the CEO. There's a lady who's in the helm of Jubilee. She said, if you perform, it doesn't matter the rules. People will bend the rules just to fit you because you're performing. So I guess that's also a big deal. Okay, so let's see what's happening this business is in Uganda. The monitor. So we're just gonna get a general overview, but that's really nice that the monitor. Uganda puts best foot forward in BPO market. What's a BPO market? Uganda's is a plastic tax. The public finance puzzle why planning reforms fail. Former Finance Minister Gerard Sendwalas Borrowing is not the problem, misuse is. Yeah, that's true. Like, what's it called? Was it Botswana that paid off all its debt in one go? Ezra Suruma, I would not recommend more taxes on fuel. I wouldn't even recommend more taxes anyway. Uganda opens sandbox to attract fintech founders. Sandbox means a pit for people to actually play. What explains the bull run on Uganda stock market? Okay. What's this about? Uganda Stock Exchange is having a moment. Market capitalization surged 50% in quarter one, 28.42 trillion to 42.63 trillion. That's a lot. The turnover nearly doubled from 16.94 billion of 2025 to 32 point, nearly doubled. That might actually doubled. Because me, I'm actually seeing it's a 92.7% jump in 12 months. So the Ugandan stock market is on a bull run. But what does that mean? If you invest in Ugandan shillings, if you buy Ugandan stocks in Kenyan shillings, does that mean now it will go up and then now you sell it again? Oh, this is something to think about. So we've already read some of the things that happen in West Africa. Let's see what's happening in South Africa. Still the same thing. Xenophobia, real estate, agriculture hate is still the same. So not much has changed. Central Africa, there has to be a way we can find news outside the East African, like specific newspapers that, well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to find specific newspapers that the biggest regions and then like let's say Congo, South Africa, and North Africa, Nigeria, and like yesterday in Nigeria, the story that surrounded Nigeria. Kama nakumbuka kuna vitu mingi mazuri zinaendelea West Africa, especially when it links to the crisis, war crisis, and oil, specifically the oil. Oil, I don't know. Kevin provokes so the future of music was powered by AI. Well, it is what it is. North Africa. Let's see what's happening in North Africa. Oh yeah, there's also commodities. At the end of the day, this ninis are going to get longer and longer. So there's going to also be we're going to also look at commodities. We're going to look at corporate. We're going to look at currencies, everything that's surrounding business. So we're going to know there's still war. Nothing much has changed here. So let's go now. Let's go internationally and see what's going on. Yeah. Uh, First entry SpaceX, OpenAI, and Anthropic IPOs to ignite Wall Street trading frenzy. Passive investors set to dump billions of shares. So there are three companies. There's SpaceX, there's OpenAI, and there's Anthropic. Anthropic is an AI company that has come off recently, and it's really good. It's giving OpenAI ChatGPT a run for its money. Now, SpaceX, the IPO behind the SpaceX's IPO is set to raise over $80 billion. Which personally is one of the biggest, not even personally, like it's one of the biggest IPOs that's set to Nini because we're in a space race. People want to mine asteroids. Like yesterday, you remember what we we're saying, people want to mine, there's $1 trillion industry in space mining, where like we're going to mine space. I don't know if you want to make a Dyson sphere, Maze. That's something that's actually been on my mind a lot. That at the end of the day, how do we make a Dyson sphere fast enough? Do we need self-replicating nanotechnology? And if you do, what's the energy source behind that? Because at the end of the day, nuclear energy is not really enough for something like that. But yeah, the European cars made in China. You see, this is what I was the lady we read about earlier. This is what she was saying. You see, from banking to fashion, why Wandia Gishuru wants Africa to wear its own brands. You see, this is what China did. China saw an opportunity because Europe can't manufacture its own stuff, man. So China saw an opportunity, and instead of relying on outside labor force, they literally trained their or they took the time to train their own labor force from square one. Now, as you can see here, you don't see any foreign labor in here. Everything is all Chinese, but they're manufacturing European cars for them to sell. At the end of the day, this is what's leading them to become a global superpower. Because at the end of the day, you're taking advantage of somebody else's vulnerability, because European companies don't want to deal with that whole unionizing, then paying them. If you can they can make it cheaper, in China, and then China employs just Chinese people. Why not? Crypto industry braces for quantum computing threat. Yeah, quantum computing is coming. Quantum computing is coming. So JP Morgan looks to offload exposure to 4 billion in private equity linked loans. You see all this financial jargon. We're going to understand it one way or another. So one way or another, we're going to understand it. Next, Harvard endowment chief faces a private equity hangover. Private equity. Keyword: private equity. So this is the third thing we're going to learn today. So private equity. They have private equity. What exactly is private equity? What exactly is private equity, and how does it affect me? Private equity is an alternative investment class where firm pools capital from institutional or accredited investors to acquire ownership stake in private or take public companies private. Alternative investment class. Interesting. So, okay, so let's go back. We So countries need clarity on war before tapping oil reserves, France says. Okay, so as athletes gathered for steroid Olympics, the real stars are the drugs. Personally, me, I've never seen the need for steroids. Although, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Everybody has their own, but I think the steroid market is huge personally, because people don't have the patience, to do things, bodybuilding takes 8 years. So if somebody can take a shortcut and reach it to in like 3 years, so yeah, so steroid market is very big. Generic drug maker Sandoz calls for EU to probe alleged China dumping. Okay. Global buyout funds to exit China data center with with final $1 billion deal. Data. Let me just say this: as a country, we need nuclear energy. Why? Because I think this is an opportunity we can actually capitalize on in terms of having data centers. This is an opportunity that personally me I see Africa is geared for, because all our data is usually taken to Europe. All our data is taken to Europe, either Europe or China or somewhere else, the Americas, but it never actually stays with us. Why? Because we don't have data centers actually take up a lot of energy, storing a lot of energy, because calculating and all that things. That's why I think quantum computing now is coming for AI, because at the end of the day, quantum computing is a leap above AI. So like data centers are a leap forward for Africa, especially when it comes to holding the world's data. Not even the world's data, our own data. So it's a big leap forward. Anasema mazee, good for you, but this is a big deal. Talk to me, mazee. How do we make that happen? What else? What else? Alberta to hold. At the end of the day, today is just a general overview of things. If anybody can see anything I don't see, please comment on the page. Comment on the page, Apachini. But beauty products is going to be also a big deal because there are a lot of women these days who have a lot of money and well, what else they spend it on? Definitely don't spend it on technology. So yeah, that's also another thing. Life and arts, photographer Walter Pfeiffer, everyone else my age is already in an asylum. Ain't that the damn truth? Interviews, international book prize winners Yang Shuangzi. We still live under a colonial regime. There's AI, so crypto platforms rush to launch derivatives linked to SpaceX. Financial jargon. You know what? This is just a general overview of everything that's going to go on. But as far as it's concerned, just know right now the biggest news that we have right now is the IPO that's set for SpaceX, the IPO that's set for OpenAI, and the IPO that's set for Anthropics. Data is actually very big right now in the in not only in the financial world but in the tech world, in the as you can see over here, more market news. So here's market data. Let's see. The data is still there. Market data. You can see, as you can see, this is what everything that's going on in the market. Okay, not everything, but a world overview of what's going on in the market. International markets especially. It's S&P 500, the Dow, the Nikkei, Hang Seng. Nikkei is from Japan. Hang Seng, the DAX. Europe, let's see, Europe is the DAX, CAC 40, FSCE, Shanghai Comp, Hang Seng. So basically, you can just see everything that's happening around the world. We're not really going to go too much into it because at the end of the day, this is just a general overview of the weekend. But as far as it's concerned, the graph is going up. What does that mean? I'm learning. So will you at the end of the day. So let's learn together. Let's go back. Let's go back and see Apachini. Where is it? More technology, market data, private markets. What are private markets? What are private markets? Let's see. Private markets. This is more specific news. On everything that's happening around the world. Bain Capital closes largest Asia fund after raising 10.5 billion. Hey, my friends, person a song. Goddamn. The I Group tumbles after sales growth slows at discount retailer action. Discount retailer action. This financial jargon. At some point, we're going to learn everything about this financial jargon. We're going to know everything, was it? Let's go back. So that's private markets, equity, bonds, currencies, commodities. Let's see what's happening in the world of crypto. Because crypto these days is a big deal. Yeah, Europe's euro stablecoin project gains backing 37 banks. Bank of England set to water down stablecoin rules after industry pressure. Crypto decentralized finance sector hit by investor exodus after